Okay. Okay. Okay, that does it. Am I fine? Am I good? Okay, very good. I'm starting. Hello. Welcome to our lecture. Today, I will be talking about the history of TESOL. It is an acronym which stands for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. There are two forms of TESOL. TESOL as a professional organization and TESOL as a training program to teach English to speakers of other languages in the United States or abroad. First, TESOL is an independent professional organization of teachers of English to speakers of other languages, Incorporated. It was established in 1966. Second, TESOL is a global education association with more than 13,000 members and 90 affiliates in over 120 countries. Mission. TESOL's mission is to ensure excellence in English language teaching to speakers of other languages. It was created out of professional concern over the lack of a single, all-inclusive professional organization. Its mission is to bring together teachers and administrators at all educational levels with an interest in teaching English to speakers of other languages, ESOL. The creation of TESOL. The creation is a culmination of more than 4 years of organizational groundwork and discussions centering around 3 issues. 1. The need for a professional organization permanently devoted to the problems of teaching English to speakers of other languages at all levels. The need for a pedagogical journal. And 3. The need for a register of specialists of qualified personnel required for foundations, government agencies, and universities. 5 organizations gave birth to TESOL, each one vitally concerned with second language problems, yet no one organization exclusively concerned with them. Beginnings. The Center for Applied Linguistics. Interests in the entire area of applied linguistics, which include a program in English as a second language. The Modern Language Association of America, concentrated on teaching English and foreign languages to native speakers as well as literary scholarship. The National Association of Foreign Student Affairs deals with all problems of the foreign student, including language problems. National Council of Teachers of English. This encompasses all of English pedagogy, including English as a second language. The Speech Association of America. This is concerned with classrooms, research speakers whose English is not idiomatic. 5 interested organizations. The Steering Committee from TESOL Conference in Tucson in 1964, in San Diego in 1965, and New York Convention in 1966 was comprised of the representatives of these 5 interested organizations. TESOL Training Program. TESOL is also a training program to teach English to speakers of other languages. TESOL methodologies have changed over the years. Some methods include grammar translation method, direct method, audiolingualism, and the communicative approach. Methodologies. Methodologies include the grammar translation method, which, as the name implies, had an emphasis on teaching grammar. The direct method observed that second language learning is similar to first language learning, which is a spontaneous use of language and interaction is used. Instead of rules of grammar, the rules are deducted from current everyday language and vocabulary is taught with pictures and symbols. The audiolingual method. This importance is placed on pronunciation and taught from the beginning. The communicative approach appeared in the 1960s and is currently dominant in language teaching. Its primary purpose is language is communication, and language should be taught in authentic context. TESOL spanned decades. Methodologies reflect change in linguistic theories over time. Today, needs of the learner continue to change. The future of TESOL is likely to continue to grow and develop as a profession. Cited: James E. Atlas, The Early History of TESOL, and Marianne Murcia, Teaching Pronunciation. Does anyone have any questions? Hello, this is Danielle Corey. Welcome to the lecture today, which is on lesson planning. Teachers plan for a productive use of their instructional time. Teachers at every level prepare plans that help them organize and deliver their daily lessons. Teachers need to make wise decisions about the strategies and methods they will employ. This provides the direction to go to achieve the selected objectives. Writing daily lesson plans is a large part of being organized, and it provides a guide for managing the learning environment. Introduction. Following are the main categories for lesson planning: goals, objectives, prerequisites, materials, lesson description, lesson procedure, and assessment and evaluation. Goals determine the purpose of the lesson and how students will engage in the lesson. We need to think about previous plans and activities and the broader objectives of the unit plan or curriculum, as well as the goals for the unit. And we also need to think about future activities and new knowledge. The central objective: what will students be able to do by the end of this lesson? Objectives. Objectives focus on what your students will do to acquire further knowledge and skills. Questions that you may ask will include: what will students be able to do during this lesson? Under what conditions will students' performance be accomplished? How will you judge if the objectives have been met? How will students demonstrate that they have learned and understood the objectives of the lesson? Prerequisites. Make sure students are ready to meet the lesson's objectives. Check on their prior knowledge. Questions to ask include: what must students already be able to do before this lesson? What concepts have to be mastered in advance to accomplish the lesson objectives? Materials. Determine necessary preparation time, or the resources and materials, for example, books and equipment that you may need. Helpful questions to ask are: what materials will be needed and what needs to be prepared in advance? Lesson description. This provides a general overview of the lesson in terms of topic, activities, and purpose. It is helpful to consider what level of learning is covered by this lesson plan. Think of Bloom's taxonomy, which includes knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Procedure. Detailed step-by-step description. How to achieve your objectives. How to proceed. Focus on what the teacher should have students do during the lesson. This section is divided into several components. Think of your introduction, the main activity, and closure. Your introduction. Ask yourself, how will you introduce the ideas and objectives of this lesson? How will you get students' attention and motivate them in order to hold their attention? Procedure, main activity. What is the focus of the lesson? What does the teacher do to facilitate learning and manage the various activities? How can this material be presented so that each student will benefit from the learning experience? Procedure. Closure, or conclusion. How will you draw the ideas together for students at the end of the lesson? How will you provide feedback to students to correct their misunderstandings and reinforce their learning? Lessons and activities. What lessons might you use that could follow as a result of this lesson? And evaluation. How will you evaluate the objectives that were identified? Have students practiced what you are asking them to do for evaluation? Elements of your lesson plan should be thought of as guiding principles and should allow for flexible delivery. During actual classroom interaction, the instructor needs to make adaptations and add artistry to each lesson plan and classroom delivery. Work cited. This guide was written by Manuel LTG, PhD, Department of Instructional Design and Development and Evaluation from Syracuse University. Are there any questions? Hi, this is Danielle. I'm looking at a question. Is there a format for writing out lesson plans? Any examples? The format normally is up to the instructor, whatever would be easy for the instructor to follow on a daily basis, and also format so that the instructor can keep track of the lessons from day to day and week to week, month to month. Some schools require a certain format, and that would be in a template form that teachers would be given. Otherwise, it's normally up to the individual teacher what format they follow. Does that answer your question?